They really need to win some games here. But I don't know.
Yeah, if Selnik beats Hawk, I would think I would love to see Illusion be sent out by Vile. I think that would be a really good CVT.
Yeah, Illusion is definitely one of the. I would say he's definitely their biggest up and comer that they have.
Yeah.
Like he's really been showing some good results lately, and even just like practice games or anything else, he's playing really well. So.
Yeah, I agree. Very, very good player.
Yep. Especially versus Zerg. I think we both have experience in that matchup versus him. So.
Yeah, I haven't seen his other matchups, to be honest. I know that he's really good at CVZ, though.
I know. It's funny how we only judge people from one matchup. Because that's all we really know.
Yeah, you can be like, oh yeah, he sucks, and then someone else is like, what are you talking about? He's so good.
Yeah, like 3-0's boxer or something. Just like, well, I beat him. So it's like, it doesn't even matter. Alright, so it does look like we have, I didn't even see what map this is. This is Daybreak, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
And, yeah, they are both 9 overlords running to 10, 12, so everything pretty normal, no 9 pools or lower this game. So we'll just have to wait and see. Oh, that's a 13 gas by Valhawk, and Selnik going to 15, so likely gonna go for a fast expand.
Yeah.
Now, 13 gas usually is gonna mean Baneling bust.
Really?
I believe so. If I would much rather 14 gas if it's gonna be any sort of expansion behind it. 13 gas, 13 pool is pretty good if you're just gonna drone up to 15. But if you're gonna drone anything past 15, I think 14 is much better.
Okay. We'll have to see if you're right on this call. It could be. I really like Zelnik going balls to the wall here and going for this 15 hatch. You know, sometimes a 15 hatch is risky, especially nowadays, because people have no problems going 7 pull and sending all their drones at you, or any of those kind of builds.
Yeah, this is a pretty long rush distance map, though, so
that's
taking that into account, that helps. Actually, Valhawk pulling drones off of gas, and is still at 15 drones, and now making circling. So he did stop at 15, but he doesn't seem to be going for a Baneling bust. Now, when doing this, again, I prefer 14, and you can drone up to 17 even, and take that expansion pretty much at the same time.
Yep, I agree. Do have some drones being transferred over to the expansion by Zelnik. I usually don't do this a lot of times if I know what my opponent's doing. Like, if he's doing a faster expand, I usually won't even transfer a lot of drones, just because it gives him multiple locations where he can harass, right? So until I have, like, I'm set up with my queens and my zerglings and everything else, I don't like having to defend multiple locations right off the bat.
Definitely. I don't think there's any reason to transfer drones before having the 16 that you need at least in your main.
I agree.
So we're going to see Zerglings being chased by Zerglings. However, Hawk is going to have speed pretty soon here. I'm not sure why Selnik is chasing him out here. This is a little bit dangerous.
It is. He could have just kept. Yeah, he could have just kept running with those lanes, and speed would have kicked in, and he would have had a very easy time to harass, I would think, after he's already in the main. It does look like Zelnik's made a lot of Zerglings, though. He actually might be going for a bust himself. We do see a Baneling nest being thrown down by both players. Actually, no, I take that back. Hawk has a Roach Warren.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Baneling nest.
That's that's a pretty strange opener by Hawk. He's not, you know, he's a little bit behind in drones, and he's still trying to secure like a defensive posture. It might just work because Selnik seems to be going for that bust that you were just talking about. But again, I think the build is a little risky in itself. Just, you know, like, okay, I'll just make 6 lanes. I got the faster speed. I'm not gonna exploit that, and now I'm gonna make roaches. Right. So unless it's an all-in, which might be the case.
I am not a fan of roaches this early in ZVZ. I find defensive banelings way better. And just with like a spine crawler or something. But we'll just have to see. It's a lot of ground for these roaches to cover. It's not like you can just, like, you know, sit on the ramp and defend the expansion mineral line or something. You do have a lot of Zerglings coming down here from Zelnik, and actually a lot of Banelings being more 7 in total at the moment. Actually, Zelnic's not making any more Zerglings right now. He's actually switched to complete drone production. He's actually way ahead in drones. He's up by, well, I don't know, it keeps changing. Every time I like calculate it, it changes again. It's 35 drones to 25. Now. Yeah, he's up by 10.
And this Bailing Bust could do something, but at the very least it's gonna force out, or it should force out units by Hawk. Oh, that would be a nice pickup on the Queen. Not gonna happen though. Those roaches in position.
Yeah, it was a fast reaction pulling his drones. Hawk did a very good job there where he didn't lose them all. Hawk has a ton of larvae, but he just has no money at the moment. He really needs to get on that. Look at all the larvae that's at the expansion that he just can't build because he doesn't have the income. Hawk has way too many drones in the main compared to his expansion. Like, he really needs to transfer some of these.
Yeah, especially because he has been behind in drones for a while now, and he's still behind by a little bit. Again, I'm not a huge fan of Hawk's opener this game. I think, you know, he conceded map control. Zelnic is confident enough to just drop 4 spine crawlers at once and take all of his gases while taking Tuller and still manage to be ahead in drones. So it's, you know, it was a little bit of a risk by Hawk, kind of like being like, okay, if you Bailing Bust me, I'll win. If you don't, I'll probably be a little bit behind, but I'll be safe.
Right. I do like these 2 Banelings being morphed on the ramp and leaving him there, so if he sees the spine crawlers and like, well, hey, I'll just run into the main, the Banelings will be like, oh, surprise! But didn't happen, of course. With 4 spine crawlers and only seeing Ling Baneling, we're obviously going to see Muta from Zelnic. There's no other option. It's pretty much a dead giveaway when you see a lot of spine crawlers as defensive structure. But yeah, I really like the position of Zelnic. He is leaps and bounds ahead of his opponent. I guess we're going to see some kind of all-in attack coming from Vile Hawk here with the +1, but I'm just not sure how well that's going to work. We do have an Overseer now going into Hawk's base. He is going to see that all of the larvae is being turned into Zerglings and Roaches and such. So he does know this is coming. He should be throwing down more spine crawlers. I don't know why he's not.
Yeah, he should be spending all of his money in spines right now. He probably should have had a Roach one at least for, if just for safety. Hawk is going to morph a ton of Banelings here and get rid of those spines. This is not looking good for Zelnic despite him scouting it.
Yeah, he needs to morph a ton of Banelings right now. Like Zelnic can just morph Banelings and counter it.
Every Ling needs to be a Baneling there.
Yeah, like he just needs to hold this, but he's not doing it. Instead, the Banelings come in, kill the spine crawlers, and that is going to be all she wrote. Those are +1 Roaches, and he just has constant flow of Zerglings following it up. And yes, there is a Spire down, but like what are, like, you know, 5 Mutas going to do at this point? He's going to lose everything.
Yeah, absolutely nothing he can do. A little bit of poor decision making by Zelnic there. Really, he should have had this game. He had the upper hand. He had the better build, and he scouted what was coming.
Yep.
So yeah, that's gonna be it for Quantic.
Yeah, that's you know, that's how you can be way ahead and just, you know, one bad read or something and you can throw away a ZDZ just like that. He had plenty of money. He could have made you know, infinite more numbers of spine crawlers practically, and just waited for his mutas. But instead, he decided to stockpile all of his resources, waiting for the muta tree, and then he died to a timing attack. So.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky too when you're going muta. Like your first instinct is, oh, my Spire's almost done, I'll just wait for it. But the good reaction, like the real thing that you should be doing, is just spending all of your minerals as soon as you can.
That's
stopping
true.
whatever's coming to you, ignore the Spire for a little bit, and then retake your advantage. Because an all-in is an all-in. If you can stop it, however you stop it, that's what it is.
Yeah, especially when, you know, your opponent, you scout your opponent and he doesn't even have a lair. You know, it's like, what do you need mutas out for a rush for? It's not like he's gonna get infestors out in time or something. You know.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
You know, decisions. That's what it all comes down to. And it looks like Hawk made the correct decision this series. So yeah, it does look like Vile is going to take it 4-1 actually. So that's a pretty big upset, I would say, considering the team names going against it. Both teams obviously have great players, but Quantic, you know, when you think of Quantic, you think of a lot of the players that we didn't even get to see today.
Yeah, Sase, 91, Destiny are probably the 3 names that come to mind when you think of Quantic, and neither played today. So yeah, an upset only only name-wise. I think on paper, Vile deserved to win this clan war, and they did. So.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, we'll be right back after this commercial break with our next clan war. So stay tuned, guys.